This is wellnesshubnest bringing you another exciting and reflective thought on human patterns. It's not a character flaw, it's a quiet leak in your attention. And once you find it, you can fix it. Many people quietly carry the same thought, a persistent whisper in the back of their minds. I should be doing more. They look at their day, their goals, their unfinished tasks. And the immediate, easy conclusion is to blame themselves. They assume the problem is laziness. But wait, what if that assumption is wrong? What if you're not unmotivated? You're just undercharged. The real problem isn't a lack of desire, but a quiet habit that slowly drains your energy before you even begin. Laziness is often misunderstood. True, unadulterated laziness is rare. Most people genuinely want to improve. They want to move forward, to feel productive and accomplished. But wanting something and having the mental and emotional energy to act on it are two very different things. It's like having 1,000 tiny tabs open in your head, each one consuming a little bit of power. There's a profound difference between not wanting to act and not having the capacity to act. And that crucial difference often goes unnoticed, leading to a cycle of guilt and frustration. Wait, what if it isn't laziness? What if you're not unmotivated, but simply undercharged? One of the most common hidden drains on our energy is unstructured attention. It's like having 1,000 tiny tabs open in your head, each one quietly pulling power. Your mind is constantly pulled in different directions. A notification here, an unrelated thought there, a quick check that turns into several minutes lost down a rabbit hole. None of these moments feel significant on their own, but together, they create a relentless pattern. Attention becomes scattered, and when attention is scattered, your energy becomes fragmented. Here's the trap. This scattered state feels busy, but it's not productive. Imagine trying to focus while constantly being interrupted. Even if each interruption is small, the mental effort to return to your original focus adds up. The brain never fully settles into one task. It keeps restarting, and restarting isn't neutral. It's expensive. It requires significant energy. By the time you sit down to do something meaningful, you may already feel mentally drained. Not because you've done too much, but because your attention has been pulled apart, piece by piece, throughout the day. This is the quiet drain that leaves you feeling exhausted for no apparent reason. This is where the misunderstanding begins. You feel low energy, you hesitate to start, you delay, and then you label it as laziness. But the truth is, your system is overloaded, not with effort, but with fragmentation. Modern environments are designed to compete for attention. Every app, every notification, every update is trying to pull you in. And over time, this constant pulling reshapes how your mind works. You become used to quick shifts, short bursts, rapid engagement, but deep focus, the kind that builds progress, becomes harder. Not because you lack discipline, but because your habits have trained your attention to move constantly. This creates a cycle. You feel drained, you avoid effort, you feel guilty, and the cycle repeats. But once you understand the pattern, something profound changes. You stop blaming yourself for being unproductive. Wait, what if it isn't laziness? What if you're not unmotivated, but simply undercharged? You start observing your habits not as moral failures, but as clues. Energy begins to return when your attention becomes more stable, not perfectly focused. That's an impossible standard, just slightly more intentional. Here's the trap. Scattered attention feels busy, not productive. Each time you switch contexts, you pay a small tax. Restarting isn't neutral, it's expensive. Small, deliberate changes make the biggest difference. It starts with one task, one window, one return. Try finishing one thing before switching. Allow moments of quiet without stimulation, and consciously reduce unnecessary interruptions, silencing non-critical alerts. These aren't dramatic, life-altering overhauls. They are quiet, consistent acts of restoration. But they rebuild something fundamentally important, your mental continuity. And when continuity returns, so does your energy. Because continuity creates energy. Suddenly, tasks feel less overwhelming. The friction to begin something new lessens. Starting feels easier, and progress feels more natural, less like a battle. And slowly, with compassion, the label of laziness begins to fade. Because it was never about a lack of will. It was never laziness. It was depleted attention. This is how invisible habits operate. They don't feel destructive in the moment. They feel normal, even necessary. But over time, they quietly shape how you think, how you feel, and how you act. They are the 1,000 tiny tabs open in your head, draining your power. This episode is part of the Invisible Habits series, exploring the quiet patterns that shape life without most people noticing. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more reflections like this. And in the comments, share if you've ever mistaken low energy for laziness. Label less, observe more. Because sometimes, understanding the pattern is the one change that changes everything.